It's hard to imagine a more divisive issue in this election than the war in Iraq. It's divided America's allies, pitted American against American, and John Kerry against himself. Thank goodness the president is a uniter.
But we do have to mend fences, let's face it, right? Canada was very mad at the United States. You didn't want to be part of the coalition of the willing in the Iraq war. You didn't want to be part of it. You didn't want to jump on board with every other country. Everybody was with the United States, folks, everybody. Bulgaria, they sent a couple dudes. Spain, they put together a little good luck piñata that they sent over, which I thought was very supportive. And Canada didn't go. Canada didn't go. Canada always goes to war with the United States. I don't think, you guys don't even really have a military. You're just too polite to say no. You're like, all right, sure, we'll go. You're not a warmongering country, let's face it. You're the only country in the world, you got your independence by asking nicely. It was crazy. You're like, just said England, come on, England, it's freezing over here. It's crawling with French people. You don't want to be a part of that, do you? We'll keep the Queen on the money. What do you say? Come on.
Proud of Canada. We weren't in Iraq. That's very nice. Not for any political reason I'm proud. Now, just calm down. For Canada, what would we do in a war? Huh? I think we'd cater. Hey, big boatload of donuts somewhere out there. Come on, have a donut. Here, have a donut. Go out there and kill people. Here's a donut. Throw some donuts at people. Here's a stick. No, don't use that. You might hurt somebody.
Yeah, you may have heard about the little codependent relationship America's having with Iraq right now. Yeah. There was something I never understood about the whole conflict from the very beginning. Something that confused me. How did our oil get underneath their sand? What a tantalizing geological conundrum. And almost completely inexplicable. Clearly, it's our oil. We have it earmarked for freedom. The sand monkeys were wasting it on food, for goodness sakes.
Oh, yeah. Because the Americans, they like access to oil. They like their oil, you know. But that's not why they went into Iraq. That's not why I'm saying it. No. Nothing to do with the oil. They went in there looking for the weapons of mass destruction. It's all about the weapons of mass destruction, and they're going to find them. They are going to find them. As soon as they can get them from Andrews Air Force Base to Baghdad before anyone sees them. Oh, yeah. Then they'll show up. They know they're there. They got the receipt.
This whole war in Iraq thing has gone on long enough. It's a lot of nonsense. Tony Blair has certainly now admitted that there are no weapons of mass destruction. I don't wish to appear wise in hindsight, but it seemed obvious to me. If Saddam Hussein did have weapons of mass destruction, you would think a war would be the perfect opportunity to use them. I always felt that point was glossed over somewhat at the time, you know? Especially a war with America. I mean, what else are you waiting for? What is it, a bit like the best China? You never know quite when to get it out? America are coming to war. Shall we use the weapons of mass destruction? No, let's save them for a special occasion. We don't want to fritter them away on this little fracas, do we? He must be kicking himself now, mustn't he, Saddam? God, I should have used the weapons of mass destruction. Too busy throwing rubble. I felt very sorry for Hans Blix, the UN weapons inspector, who was out there for many years, failed to find any weapons, written a book about his failure to find weapons now, which must be a riveting read, I would imagine. I did feel sorry for poor old Hans. Oh, it's a tough job at the best of times. Big, very hostile regime, big country, no weapons there in the first place, probably. And on top of everything else, he's a man called Hans who's looking for arms.
W's in big trouble. And wouldn't you know, it would be over his faulty intelligence. We attacked Iraq for a very specific reason. They have weapons of mass destruction. How cleverly they've hidden them. Almost as if they were never there at all. They have weapons of mass destruction, Apparently our weapons are weapons of growth and nurturing.
And by the way, don't blame our president for that. Weapons of mass destruction, he knows they're there because his father gave them to him 20 years ago, for God's sake. He knows they're there.
Now they're trying to start the war again. They're trying to go after Saddam again. He's got a bomb. Once again, we're hearing he's got a bomb. He's got a, but does he have a good arm? You know, I see there's some guy with a bomb. He's got a shopping cart. He's just sort of running around with this. Bush has 8 zillion bombs. They're deteriorating and, you know, settling into the water supply that we have to drink in North America. But we got to be worried about one guy with a Heath kit and a bomb. You know.
Americans are always invading places and blowing stuff up and waving flags, and we just sort of follow you around, shaking our heads like we're the designated drivers of North America. Perfect example of this relationship, the Gulf War. United States goes in, bang! 100,000 troops, 50,000 planes, 20,000 ships. Canada goes too. Where are you going, the beach? That'll be fun, we'll come along. We'll bring the cooler, that's our job. We send ships to help out. How many? Take a guess, yell it out if you know. Very good, 100 people guess, 1,900 people. Canada has ships? But 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. United States sent 20,000, we sent 3. Disney World could kick our ass with 3 ships. Three ships, and we moaned about it. We didn't even just go. We had big debates. Should we go? Should we get involved? Should we unleash our naval might? Like it made any difference whatsoever. Like 3 ships somehow tilted the massive scales of the war. Like Saddam Hussein's in his tent. I will crush the Americans. I will destroy them. What? Canada's involved.
People get mad at me. They ask me, if you don't love the good old US of A, Barry, why don't you get out of it? I say, because I don't want to be victimized by its foreign policy.
I just didn't like the attitude of some of the American generals and commentators I saw on the war coverage. They would always go on about the smart bombs. When America has smart bombs. We have smart bombs. Like somehow the Iraqis had dumb bombs. Like their bombs were flying towards targets and then went, oh, boobies. And then they would always boast, we have the best night fighting force in the world. Yes, but who are you fighting? It's pretty easy to have the best night fighting force in the world when George Bush is going, here, have $1 million pair of night vision goggles. And Saddam Hussein's going, here, eat this carrot, it might help. The worst one, I saw this general, and it was on the Fox News network, and this bomb had blown up a building, and this general was boasting. He was like, that one bomb blew up an entire building. But then it flashed up on screen that the bomb in question was worth $1.5 million. Now, I think it's obscene that a bomb is worth $1.5 million. But if it is, I'm not that impressed that it blows up a building. It should. It's worth $1.5 million. Because I reckon if you drop $1.5 million worth of anything out of a plane, it would mess shit up. You could drop $1.5 million worth of refrigerators and toasters out of a plane, and it would screw with people's heads.
They still haven't found those weapons of mass destruction. They thought they found those trailers out in the desert. They thought those trailers were mobile chemical and nuclear weapon labs. And I guess what made them suspicious is one of the trailers had Nevada plates. But here's the challenge, folks. If we're not going to use force to get rid of dictators, how do you get rid of a dictator like Saddam Hussein? How do you do it? And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and about a month before the war started, folks, I turned on 60 Minutes, and my old friend Dan Rather is interviewing Saddam Hussein on national television in my living room. And I'm yelling at the television set, Dan, grab him. Get him in the headlock and drag him off to the International Criminal Court that we opposed.